What they're really talking about is giving you the right to work for less money.
The president comes to town and knocks right to work, energizing the crowds that are expected to pack the Capitol tomorrow. Lansing's ready for 10,000 protesters to show up.
Plus, Democratic leaders get a last-minute meeting with the governor. You'll hear if they had any impact on his opinion. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Thompson.
And I'm Marley Ginter. We are continuing to track every development of the Right to Work showdown. The State House and Senate passed separate Right to Work bills last week. Tomorrow, the House is expected to vote on the Senate's version. That would likely be the bill that would then go to the governor's desk. If he signs it, Right to Work would become law 90 days after the session ends.
Political reporter Rick Albin was in Metro Detroit with the president this afternoon. He's now in Lansing, where all that action will go down tomorrow. Rick?
The president came to Redford today hoping to talk up his plan to avert the fiscal cliff. He wanted to talk about how his idea about raising taxes on what he calls the wealthiest Americans was a better idea than going off that cliff. But the message that is being heard all around Michigan, at least today, is what he had to say about right to work. The president was put in that situation because late last week, when the Senate passed those right to work bills, at least two senators suggested they would take that fight to the White House and try to get some support from him. Well, to the degree that he mentioned right to work, he didn't disappoint. However, he didn't promise any moves or changes in funding. Not that anybody called for that directly, but the fact is the president made it very clear he thinks right to work is wrong.
What we shouldn't do, I just got to say this, what we shouldn't be doing is trying to take away your rights to bargain for better wages or working conditions. We shouldn't be doing that. You know, these so-called right-to-work laws, they don't have to do with economics. They have everything to do with politics.
Now, you heard that loud, sustained applause from the mostly union workers there at the Detroit diesel factory that we were at earlier today. I left that in because I wanted you to get an idea of just how energized unions are. We know that there will be people from all over the state here tomorrow. We also know that they're busing people in from out of state. There are already big electronic signs as you come off the E-way that show the buses where to go. Here in Lansing, there are going to be people converging on the Capitol, inside the Capitol. We're going to be here to bring it all to you. Just a reminder, making Michigan the 24th right-to-work state is something that we weren't even seriously talking about 6 months ago. 6 weeks ago, it was just a bare possibility. 2 weeks ago, we started to hear more serious conversation. And it was only about a week ago that we started to think this could really happen. This has moved very quickly. A lot of people are very unhappy about that. You'll see protesters out here tomorrow, and you may even see some supporters too. I'm starting to hear that there will be some supporters here saying, yes, this is the right thing to do. I, of course, will be in the House chamber. We'll have crews all over the place to keep you updated on what could be one of the most sweeping policy change days in Lansing in a number of decades. Live in Lansing, I'm Rick Albin, 24-Hour News 8.
Lots more to come, Rick. Thank you. And today, Governor Snyder agreed to meet with state Democratic leaders to hear their concerns about the right to work legislation. After that meeting, both sides talked about what happened.
The governor listened, and he told us that he would seriously, in his word, consider our concerns.
I just want to be open-minded, and I appreciate it. It was really the Democratic delegation, and they wanted to come share their thoughts and views on why this isn't a good thing, and I was hopefully a good listener.